There are over 100 billion Earth-like planets out there in the Milky Way galaxy. At least that's what scientists believe. So why haven't we found any signs of alien life yet? This is one of the biggest mysteries of our time. It's been keeping scientists awake at night, wondering if we really are alone in this universe. It's me, and you're watching this channel. Join me today as we look at the Fermi Paradox. And even though it's the closest star system to ours, it still takes light over 4 years to reach us from there. But as our technology improves, we will be able to observe stars that are much farther away. In fact, with the help of powerful telescopes like the James Webb Space Telescope, we're now able to see further back in time and detect planets around distant stars. Scientists estimate that there could be as many as 100 billion Earth-like planets out there. But they also agree that we haven't even begun to explore space enough to find any of them. This means that if we wanted to send a message to Alpha Centauri, it would take over 8 years for them to receive it, and then another 8 years for us to get the reply. Well, according to some estimates, we may have already missed our chance. Scientists theorize that if there are other civilizations out there that are more advanced than ours, then they may have already visited Earth in the past. Considering how far away all of the other stars are, you can see that it would be very difficult for us to communicate with them. Maybe they re-hiding their presence from us, or maybe they simply so advanced that we can't detect them. We on the verge of making some incredible discoveries about the universe, and it's only a matter of time before we make contact with an extraterrestrial civilization. Those who believe that we are indeed alone, and those who believe that there are other forms of life out there. Some people even believe that aliens are among us living in disguise. There are billions of planets that could support life, and it seems unlikely that we the only ones who have managed to evolve. Of course, just because there may be other forms of life out there doesn't mean that they're necessarily friendly. With billions of planets out there that could support life, it's hard to believe that we're the only ones in the universe. However, despite the fact that we haven't found any signs of alien life yet, scientists remain optimistic that we will eventually make contact with an extraterrestrial civilization. There are plenty of examples of animals in our own world that are hostile towards humans, such as bears and wolves. It's possible that if we were to encounter an alien species, they would be just as hostile towards us. That's why it's important to proceed with caution and to always be prepared for the worst. Who knows what kind of danger we could be in for if we ever make contact with an extraterrestrial civilization. They may have infiltrated our society and be observing us from within. This is the idea that if there are other civilizations out there, then why haven't we heard from them yet? If they're so advanced, then why haven't they come to visit us? There are a few possible explanations for this. Perhaps there aren't any other civilizations out there that are advanced enough to make contact with us. Or perhaps they are out there, but they've chosen to remain hidden for whatever reason. Maybe they're just observing us from afar and waiting for us to reach their level of technological advancement. If aliens have visited Earth in the past, then they were probably highly advanced. They may have been able to travel faster than the speed of light, or they may have used some other technology that is beyond our current understanding. Arnold claimed that he saw 9 flying discs flying in formation near Mount Rainier in Washington state. The local newspaper reported that the military had recovered a flying disc from a ranch, but the next day, the military released a statement claiming that it was just a balloon. However, conspiracy theorists have argued that the government was lying and that the Roswell incident was actually a cover-up of a real alien crash. Although the military quickly dismissed his story as a hoax, it captured the public's imagination and sparked decades of speculation about the existence of aliens, and tried to answer the question, why haven't we found aliens yet? When you think about the vastness of space, it's hard not to wonder if there are other forms of life out there. With billions of planets that could support life, you would think that we would have found some kind of evidence of aliens by now, right? One theory is that they only visited Earth once, and that was just a one-off incident. Maybe they didn't have any further interest in visiting our planet, or maybe they felt that we were unadvanced enough to understand their technology. Well, actually, astronomers say that we've only scratched the surface when it comes to exploring space. If you enjoy science and tech stories, stay tuned for more. The nearest star system to us is Alpha Centauri, which is 4.37 light-years away. With our current technology, we can only observe stars that are relatively close to us. But while we may be able to observe these planets from afar, it's unlikely that we will ever be able to visit them. Even if we were able to travel at the speed of light, it would still take thousands of years to reach even the closest star systems. And let's face it, we're nowhere near being able to travel that fast. So with all of these obstacles standing in our way, it's no wonder why we haven't found aliens yet. So how long will it take before we finally make contact with an extraterrestrial civilization? One of the most famous cases of a supposed alien encounter was the alleged sighting of a UFO by Kenneth Arnold in 1947. Another famous case was the Roswell incident of 1947, when an alleged UFO crashed near Corona in New Mexico. There have also been countless reports of strange lights in the sky and alleged close encounters of the third kind, but none of these cases have been definitively proven. This raises the question, why haven't they come back? Another theory is that aliens do visit Earth regularly, but we just don't know it. It's hard to say for sure, but one thing is certain. If aliens have visited Earth in the past, then they probably won't be sticking around for much longer. When it comes to the question of whether or not we're alone in the universe, there are basically two schools of thought. Those who believe that we are alone point to the Fermi Paradox as evidence. On the other hand, those who believe that we're not alone argue that the universe is simply too big for us to be the only ones out here. The truth is, we simply don't know what to expect. But one thing is for sure, it will be an incredible experience. In conclusion, the Fermi Paradox is one of the most intriguing questions in science today. What do you think? Are we alone in the universe? Or are there other forms of life out there? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please stay tuned for more updates. Thanks for watching.